When I first started school, I literally had just turned 4. I found it very hard, especially physically. I was very lucky. I had a lovely teacher who understood that I was the youngest in the year, and she would let me have a little nap in the corner of the classroom. Being born on August 31st for me meant being the last to reach milestones. One of the things I found quite hard was a good friend of mine. Her birthday was actually the beginning of September. She actually took and passed her test before I had even received my provisional licence. I was very eager to get my licence, so it did take me 3 attempts to pass my test. Dan was born on the 27th of August. Whilst I was carrying him, I always had a little hope in the back of my mind that he might be late and therefore be the eldest in his year rather than the youngest.
Going through school, it was quite difficult for me. I had friends who were the older ones in the year group and they were always getting a lot better grades than me. I did go through a long time at school when I had very few friends. I realised that if I couldn't have human friends, I would just have animal friends.
I can relate to what Dan's saying really about the loneliness and feeling left out, definitely.
I'm a summer ball myself. I do think it's probably affected my personality, and actually I think it's been quite a significant factor in my life.
Dominic's just turned 3 on Bank Holiday Monday. My local authority are currently threatening that if I choose to start my child in school at compulsory school age, they may remove his right to a reception year in education. He just wants to run around and explore and to dance, and his peers also want to do that. They've got slightly longer concentration spans. I will feel like I've done my son a disservice by not being able to win that right to 12 years of education at a time that's developmentally appropriate for him, and that could potentially affect the rest of his life.
I was so small that I had to be lifted onto the school bus because I couldn't quite make the steps. I just remember taking a little bit longer to pick things up. Could never spell, and I wasn't very good at reading. I'd kind of caught up by sort of year 6, so secondary school I was on a par with my classmates. I just turned 18 when I first went to university, and I didn't feel ready at all. I felt quite young, so I left after a couple of months and took a year out. Then I applied to go to Cambridge to study education. I've taught for 9 years now, and I think if you can instil a positive attitude to learning, that you encourage children to be motivated and resilient and determined, then I think that has a lot to do with how well they will succeed.
Let's have a round of applause for August babies. James is now happy as Larry after seeing that, and half of my family are born in August, so there we are.
I thought quite successful.